Yo, what's good guys, I'm Fire here back from the video, and today we're going to be bringing you guys another one-play touchdown / money play in Madden 22. Today we're going to be running the gun A slot offset, running posts out of it. One of the best plays in the game, really out of a good formation. A lot of you guys definitely be running the Patriots playbook, which is what we are in. I believe this formation is also in that spread playbook, but we're going to run Patriots because it has the really good trips, tight end, bunches that you guys all run. So this can definitely be a really good play to complement it. We're going to be showing it against cover 3, cover 2, cover 4, the main ones. And then, of course, it's going to be good against things like man coverage, but it doesn't really necessarily beat it for a one-play touchdown because, again, it is man coverage. And obviously, if you have a better player, you're going to beat him. So we're going to start out with cover 3, and again, all you really have to do personnel-wise is put your fastest receiver on this outside player. Now again, keep in mind that when you do flip the formation, it does flip who's on the outside. So again, most of you guys probably do have receivers with similar speeds if you're on an ultimate team, but if you are playing regs, keep in mind of that when you do flip your play. Other than that, make sure you get a good quarterback with some high throw power and preferably some mobility to be able to get out of the pocket. Mahomes does that well. And I do think the Chiefs are probably the closest thing to like an ultimate team style of offense, so it will create some better timing looks for you guys visually. But without further ado, let's jump into it. All right, now we're going to start out with the cover 3 defense. So we're going up against a stock cover 3 look. And really, it's going to be pretty simple just to beat cover 3. All you need is a little bit of time. And you're just going to want to try and roll out to the right side preferably. You definitely can throw it from the pocket, but it might be a little bit better if you're able to escape the pocket. So all you generally will do is just go ahead, slide, protect to the right, double team this D end to help you escape the pocket, and then try and roll out. Now, make sure you keep in mind the side of the hash and where the receivers are. We're on the right hash right now, so we have our wide receivers to this wide side of the field. That's going to be the same case scenario for all of these coverages that we're trying to beat. So we're just going to do that. Go ahead, get this, and roll out of the pocket. Let that ball go, and you see just a ton of space, able to complete it, and overall an easy touchdown for us. So again, pretty simple. There's not much to it here. And again, Mahomes actually doesn't have Gunslinger or any of those abilities. So again, you probably, in Ultimate Team, have Gunslinger and you're able to get the ball out a little bit quicker, or at least set feet lead at a minimum. So again, that's another thing to kind of keep in mind, is that you could probably even get the ball out a little bit faster than we are right now. Almost without Gunslinger, it's almost better with Mahomes to actually throw it on the run. Crazy enough. So we're just going to go ahead, run the same thing. I don't know what I did, but they got a free rusher. But again, you can kind of roll out, throw it right here. And again, those are realistic throws that you can do in Ultimate Team that you guys always see with guys like Derrick Henry and different guys, or Jalen Hurts, whoever you guys are using, Russell Wilson. They all can make that kind of a throw. So early in the year, yeah, these might be unrealistic throws, but because we're so late in the year, most of the QBs that you guys are using are going to be able to make these throws, which is, again, a reason why I picked the Chiefs. Great, more realistic things that you can do. Whereas for using like Tom Brady in the Bucs, I'm sitting in the pocket. That's not what a lot of you guys are doing in Ultimate Team anyway. Now, let's go to the replay, show you kind of why it works. I'll do this explaining with a lot of these, but mainly we want to focus in on, I think this is Casey Hayward, I want to say. It is Casey Hayward on this right side. So you see he's going to be the guy that's going to be picking up on this thing. And also, this might not even be the best way to run it. I'll show you another way to beat cover 3, maybe even a little bit better. But really, Casey Hayward, you see this corner out with Kelsey does a really good job of just holding him there. And you see even when Tyreek starts to get to there, he doesn't really even start to get back until the ball is actually released. So he really just holds him into that position. Now, another good way, I think a better potential way to open this up is to actually streak Nicole Hardman. So we're going to try this out. And the reason we're streaking him is to actually put more pressure and really try and move that free safety over to the left a little bit more, which can actually open up Tyreek potentially a little bit more there. So, and you see it definitely does help. So again, running it stock might be a good way as well. Why would you run it stock over this way? Simply just because it can catch them off guard, catch them in an adjustment. So again, this is probably the best way to run the cover 3 beater, streak him. And you saw we had a ton more space. The free safety didn't have a chance to do it. So if you're going up against someone with really good players in Ultimate Team, he has like a really good safety, I don't know, 99 speed, Taylor Mays, whoever he has, that's with like Acrobat, to where if they're even close, they might have a chance to make a play on the ball. This is probably your best bet to do it because no threat at them making a play. I'll show it one more time, then we'll hop into the next coverage. But again, all we're doing is streaking B. We're keeping everything the same, and then we're just bombing that over the top. And you see, even there, we waited a really long time. We still have enough space to actually complete the pass. So overall, really good rate there. Let's hop into our next one, which will be cover 2. All right, our next coverage is going to be cover 2, and it's going to be pretty simple for this one as well. We're just going to kind of run it and really just split the cover 2 pretty simply. There's not really any kind of setup that would help this. And again, we're not focusing on other things. We're really just showing the one-play touchdown aspect. Of course, in any of these plays, you can throw it to the corner out or the flat route. Like against cover 2, against any of these plays, I could really throw this every play and pick up a first down almost. So as far as the fact is, if they user the deep post, you still have tons of other options. You have 2 corner routes, you have flats. And even if you put on like a streak for whatever reason against the cover 2, you still got 2 corner routes, and this flat's going to be pretty open. And then, of course, your angle route. So again, against cover 2, this is a throw that you can definitely make from the pocket. Because you're throwing it more in the middle of the field, sometimes rolling out might actually hurt the play. So almost I want to say preferably make this pass from the pocket. But again, it shouldn't really matter. You can complete them really, even if I roll out to this side and kind of throw it across the body like this, we're just going to have a lot of space. And really what that free safety does almost doesn't matter. Ultimately, we're just going to focus in on what the strong safety does. So take a look at the strong safety on this and what Travis Kelce's going to do to him. He's going to pull all the way over to where we could almost pass lead this to the right side and we would have enough space. I don't recommend doing that. Preferably, your pass lead is going to be up the field, so hold that left analog stick up when you're releasing the ball. But really just focusing on what the strong safety does. He just gets so far over. And you see no other route is going to pull him over like this. Maybe a wheel route, but I think the corner out is the best. And you see such a big window that even without gunslinger and pass leading to the right, we have enough space to complete it. So it's pretty crazy how much separation you are able to create when you're doing this. And again, we'll try and throw it from the pocket here. And you see, just pass lead it, even almost like taking a hit with Mahomes' slow release without gunslinger. We just have enough space to complete it. So I would probably say cover 2 is the best and easiest coverage to beat with this play. And at this point in the year, you're seeing a good mix-up, and it just depends on the player you're playing against, but a good mix-up of cover 3, cover 2, cover 4, and man coverage. So a lot of those are being ran. There's not necessarily a one set-in-stone meta right about now. So really, you're seeing a lot of those. So I think this play can help because it can really, allow you to beat any play in one, or any play for a one, or any coverage for a one-play touchdown, depending on the player. So it doesn't matter if you're going up against someone who's running cover 4, match coverage, or cover 2. So again, sit in the pocket, release this up the field. And again, that's a bad animation, but in the situation that you're throwing it a little bit earlier, like we did right there, probably it's best bet to pass lead to the right. But again, if you wait until they're kind of in the middle, that's when you pass lead up. And passing up will definitely help for scoring touchdowns, but as long as you have speed, you should be able to complete it relatively easy anyway. And again, all these other routes, you can easily just sit here, throw to Edwards-Helaire. So just read where he's using. If he's going to use the deep post, you're fine with that because you can just check it down. That's usually what a smart player will do if they recognize they're in a bad coverage. But again, the first time you run this, they're never going to really think to defend that deep post. They're just going to hope that their deep blues do the job, and that won't be the case. So let's hop into our next one, cover 4. All right, guys, right here, we're going to hop into a cover 4 quarter. So this is going to be a match style of coverage. If I'm not mistaken, I think it works against regular cover 4 drop as well. Don't quote me on that, but I do believe it does. Now, with cover 4 quarters, you're going to do something a little bit different. You are going to keep the streak. I like to actually put it on a fade, and then I like to put Y on this little out route, and I think it works like this. If not, I'll double up and check something, and it's going to kind of work. This is just because of Tyreek's speed, but I guess that's not the setup, but that's kind of the same thing with man coverage. Now, you don't want the outside quarter to be able to match, so something you actually have to do against cover 4 that I noticed is actually motion over Edwards-Helaire on a little wheel route. So I like to run the setup like this. I put Y on it, smart routed out route. I put Edwards-Helaire on his wheel, and then I fade Nicole Hardman. It sounds like a lot of stuff, but really you'll notice what this does is it's going to simply open up our boy Tyreek Hill here. That zone's going to get pulled down, and I threw that a little bit late, but you have a pretty small window to throw this, I'll be honest. So it is going to be a little bit difficult to complete this, but you notice it already probably is a little bit more difficult to beat it based on how many adjustments that we have to do based upon what we did for other coverages. So again, we're going to kind of roll out here. He goes down, and that's when you throw it up the field. So immediately when you see that strong safety move down, you throw it immediately as fast as you can. And you see we don't have Gunslinger, we're able to complete it. So with Gunslinger, it's going to be a little bit easier. As far as everything, why are we doing it? We really just have to do it to get this guy out of position. And it seems like just because of the way that the routes develop, you do kind of have to do that. You do need 2 flats in here so that everything is defended. I'm not exactly sure the reasoning based on everything matches. Difficult coverage to dissect, but really all you need to do is open up Tyreek Hill from those 2 quarters, and then it looks like it might be defended. You're like, right here, it's probably defended. Tyreek Hill's running right into a quarter zone. But you notice, actually at the last second, before we throw it, he comes down to Travis Kelce, and then you see we have a lot of space, 10 yards separation, dang near, and we'll call it 8.5, but you see that's enough to get the job done. So again, I've tried things like this without using, again, motioning the wheel, and you notice it just doesn't matter. It's just defended. Now again, Tyreek Hill is going to really get open against that every time just because he's Tyreek Hill and he's not going to own up against a good corner. But in Ultimate Team, your 98 speed receiver might not get that much separation on a 98 speed corner as Tyreek Hill is getting on this probably 90 speed corner. So again, I'm not sure why we have to do this. I'm actually going to try something out and kind of labbing on the fly here. Let's try it without the out route because this might open up the wheel route a little bit better. Let's see if we don't have to put that backup tight end on a out route, and we don't. So if you don't want to, you don't have to put him on that out route. That was just something I did because I felt like it opened up the route combination a little bit better, but it might not necessarily. So again, you do have to put Edwards-Helaire on the wheel route. That is the necessary route, but all you have to do is wheel him, motion him over, and then fade this receiver. I just fade him because he gets a little bit of a faster release, I feel like. But again, you can just kind of roll out here. And this is a pass that you could throw from the pocket. I'm not sure why on that first time we actually ran it where he was opened up, why he kind of stopped his route. Now you see it going back to normal where he's continuing his route at a normal pace. So this is kind of the normal stuff. And again, if you want to know what man coverage looks like, we could just kind of run the play stock and you would see this is how man coverage is kind of going to have to play. Now, again, when you run it stock, you can actually kind of bomb it over the top like this, interesting enough, which was something I actually didn't really know. So how did I run that play? Because that was kind of something interesting. I motioned him over and blocked him. Maybe if I just block him normally, we can try that again, because for whatever reason he got passed on to the free safety. I'm not sure why, but actually it seems like motion does make a big difference on how those outside corners play, which is something that I did not necessarily know, especially if he wasn't on a route. So I actually want to try that again because that was pretty dang cool what happened. So what you should see here is the outside quarter, pass it on to the inside quarter from the free safety position, and then ultimately you should be able to actually bomb him over the strong safety, which we already know gets pulled down. So we're going to move over, and it didn't work as well that time, so I probably would not go with that setup, but it was kind of interesting that it worked that one time. But that's pretty much going to wrap up the video. If you guys enjoyed, drop a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel down below, and peace. I'm out of here.